My old trash can isn't working for me anymore, so I'm going to make a new one out of cardboard that I can actually put a plastic bag in. And I'm making this video tutorial style because I'm a developing YouTuber who needs practice making tutorial videos, and this is a pretty simple tutorial video for me to make. I'm starting by cutting out 1 by 10 inch rectangles. I got 1 from that big piece of cardboard, and I penciled out 3 more onto this big piece of cardboard. And this is me cutting out all 3 of the rest from that piece of cardboard. And this video was sped up to 2.5 times normal speed. And the purpose of these rectangles is to make the whole trash can octangular. And these are going to be the corners. I didn't want sharp corners because I was worried that sharp corners are going to puncture through plastic. 135-degree corners are better than 90-degree corners. And this step is me cutting out 10-inch by 6-inch sides for the trash bin. Other than cardboard, a pencil, a ruler, and scissors, the materials you'll need to create this trash bin will include some kind of adhesive. Now I used hot glue, but I think that you can just as well use something like duct tape in order to assemble your trash bin. And last, you're going to need a protractor to measure certain angles. All these materials, they're rather cheap, and you can use these cheap materials to make a cheap trash bin that'll last months to years. And you can literally do this in a weekend. In my more artsy, advanced, and detailed crafting, I'm still developing. But when it comes to making a tutorial like this, I find myself more than just fit. And if I can share this with you, why not? And the bags I will use for this trash bin will be the kind you put produce in at the supermarket. My old trash bin was simply too large for such bags to be used this way. And that's why I'm making my own trash bin that'll be able to use those bags. I cut out the pieces, and now it's time to make the bottom of the trash bin. This is where Sir Protractor will come in handy. Along one edge of cereal box cardboard, I marked a 6-inch length, and at this end and the other end, I marked 135 degrees. And I used the marks to draw 1-inch lengths. From there, I think you can use the protractor, ruler, and pencil to make the rest of the octagon. So this is me with the finished octagon, cutting it out. And a way you can check at the end of the octagon if you're right is to measure every angle and to measure all 6-inch sides to see if they're all 6 inches. You can also measure the 1-inch sides if you really want to get into all the details. I am serious in saying that if you are at least 16 years old and you live in a developed country and you've passed your math classes, you should be able to manage this craft. And some might be able to do this as younger children. There's the octagon. And this is the step where I glue the sides of the trash bin together by the edges. And for me, the hot glue gun comes in. For you, it might be duct tape. And whether you're using hot glue or duct tape, the thing is, you do not have to bend these angles perfect. Like, try for 135 degrees, but you do not have to make them perfectly 135 degrees. You can still bend them a little after the glue hardens. And with duct tape, well, it's kind of flexible, you know? Anyways, I showed myself gluing 2 edges together, but not all 8 sides, because I wanted to save some time and space. But here you can see them all glued together. And that octagon's gonna come in handy, because this trash bin does not have a bottom right now, but it will once I glue in the octagon. And now it's glued on. And make sure you don't go too shy on the glue when you're doing this. And this is the bottom of the trash bin. It will be touching my carpet. Isn't this the most interesting fact you've ever learned? No, it's not, but this will be more interesting maybe. I'm putting the plastic produce bag inside to see if the edges go around, well, the edges. And it took some effort, a little more than I expected, but this does work. It is certainly better than the old trash bin in this way. But there's a problem. Even these 135-degree angle corners were risking ripping right through the plastic. So I came up with a solution. I bent the corners in a little bit for what it was worth, and then I added onto the corners these thin boards to make them more curvy and therefore less sharp. Then I painted the whole thing white for myself. And that's how you make the trash bin. You can paint it whatever color you want if you want to paint it at all, and on top of that, you can adjust the dimensions to your liking.